Hello and welcome to Blooming Curious, the podcast dedicated to reimagining early childhood education through the power of curiosity. We explore the strategies that inspire a lifelong love for learning in children. So if you're an educator or a curious parent looking for creative, meaningful ways to engage children and move beyond the talk and chalk traditional classroom approach, then this is the podcast for you. If you have young children, you know exactly what it feels like when they're constantly asking why about everything. Why do leaves fall? Why do they turn brown? Why don't they fall up? And eventually you run out of answers and you just say, well, because that's how it is. But what if I told you that those why questions aren't interruptions, they are learning moments? Welcome to today's episode. I'm Edwina, and if you're a homeschooling parent or just someone who wants to create more meaningful learning at home, then this episode is for you. Here's the thing about curiosity that most of us miss. We think we need elaborate activities, expensive materials, or structured curricula to nurture curiosity. But curiosity thrives in the ordinary moments. It lives in the questions our children naturally ask when we're walking to the mailbox, or when we're preparing dinner, or when we're simply reading a picture book together. Let me give you 3 practical ways to transform your home into a curiosity-rich environment. First, become a professional question asker. When your child notices something, anything, resist the urge to immediately answer. Instead, ask, what do you think? Or what do you notice? When your child points out, for example, that your dog always sniffs at the same spot every time you're on your morning walk. Instead of explaining all about scent marking, rather ask, why do you think he does that? Your child is likely to come up with some fascinating theories, and more than likely you will spend the next week observing and discussing animal behavior. Secondly, embrace the power of wondering out loud. Model curiosity by sharing your own questions. I wonder why some clouds are fluffy and others are wispy. Or I wonder what would happen if I planted these seeds in this shady spot. You're not just thinking out loud, you're showing your children that adults are learners too. Third, follow their fascinations, not your agenda. If your child becomes captivated by how water moves down the drain, that's your science lesson. If they're intrigued by how some words sound similar, that's your language lesson. The most powerful learning happens when we build on what naturally captivates our children's attention. Now I know what some of you are thinking, this sounds great in theory, Edwina, but how do I actually do this without feeling forced, or without it being overwhelming, or without me sounding like a teacher? Well, that's exactly why I created something called the Curiosity Bundle. It's completely free, and here's what you get. You get an e-guide called How to Nurture Curiosity Naturally that walks you through exactly how to recognize and respond to those curiosity moments in your everyday life. I use a simple example of going on a walk because that's something that everybody does. There's no complicated setup necessary, no special material, just practical strategies that you can use starting right now, today. But here's the part that I'm most excited about. I've also included a complete lesson plan. It's like a little mini idea plan that goes with a picture book, I Went Walking by Sue Williams. Now you might think, this is just a simple picture book about a child taking a walk. Exactly right. That's the beauty of it. It's just simple. This lesson plan shows you how something as ordinary as going on a walk, whether it's around the block, whether it's in your backyard, through your neighborhood, to the park, or even a trip to the zoo or the farmyard, becomes a rich learning experience. Whenever you go anywhere, you're exploring observation skills, animal sounds, patterns, colors, movement, and so much more. Your children won't even realize they're learning because they'll be too busy discovering. The e-guide and the lesson plan work together to show you just how easy it is to create a curiosity-inspired learning moment from the most ordinary moments. There's no pressure, there's no performance, just real learning that naturally happens. To get your free curiosity bundle, just head to go.bloomingcurious.com/curiosity and download it there today. I'll leave a link for you in the show notes. Remember, you don't need to be a trained educator to nurture curiosity at home. You just need to pay attention to what your children are already wondering about and give them the space to explore those questions. And the next time your child asks why, for the 5th or the 100th time, take a deep breath and remember, you're not dealing with an interruption. You're witnessing the very foundation of lifelong learning. Thanks for listening today. I'll see you next week, same time, same place. And until then, stay blooming curious.